be working into the hips, specifically a lot of work into our piriformis, our TFL, our tensor fasciae latae muscles that rotate our hips externally, and also our glutes, of course. So it'll be lots of core work, lots of work on the hips, strengthening joints, building strength. Let's start on the floor. All right. So you might like to just start, as we usually would with the Pilates practice, of just finding our abdominal breath. So bring your hands so your heel of your palms rest on the hip joints. And just invite the breath underneath the fingers, deep in the belly. You might like to just take a deep sigh. Feel the spine heavy on the ground. Just let the breath come and go, but bring your attention to it. Hopefully you can feel the breath underneath the fingers. If you really want to also engage those muscles, you might like to blow through the lips, take a little cough if you like, feel those muscles switch on. All right. We're going to start by taking one foot over the opposite knee, keeping the spine heavy on the ground. We're just going to lift that foot off the ground. And straight away, you'll notice your core abdominals are switching on. So just get a sense for how that feels in your own body. So without lifting your head off the floor, see if you can bring your hands up to meet that leg. You might be high up towards the knee, or you might be low. Keep the head heavy, keep the shoulders relaxed. So we've got a strong sensation in the hip right now. Just let it be there. And you might like to start just gently pulsing. If you can start to get a little bit of nuance towards where the sensation is. What muscle am I working right now? Okay, let's take the hands down. We're just going to tap down, lifting up. Spine stays heavy on the ground. Shoulders are relaxed. Maybe a little smile, no tension in the jaw. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, you might like to untangle the legs, draw both knees in, hug the chest, maybe a little wobble side to side. And then when you're ready, let's swap to the other side. So lifting the foot off the ground, keep that head on the ground, shoulders relaxed. As you reach your hands up to meet the leg, just notice if this side is easier or harder than the other. Probably not the same. We might just take a moment to feel into that strong sensation in the joint. Let go of the shoulders. Let go of any tightness in the jaw, the cheeks. And when you're ready, we'll take the arms down and we'll just start to tap, moving with the breath. I like to inhale as I tap down, exhale as I lift. Main thing we're trying to do here is relax our upper body, shoulders, head. Really get our Lower body muscles working. Spine flat to the ground. And when you're ready, we might untangle, draw the knees in, maybe a little wobble again. And then we'll take one hand on each knee, open through the hips. Maybe change direction. And let's come back. So first side again, we're going to extend both arms this time. And just drop both knees across, deep spinal twist. Big sigh. You might even like to turn your chin the opposite direction. Go a little bit deeper. Rolling back onto the spine. You might like to switch. Keep that spine heavy on the ground before you take a breath. And then roll both knees over. Big deep sigh, maybe turning the chin. Let's try one more time each side. Keep the shoulders as heavy as you can. Use your breath. And when you're ready, we're going to roll up to sit. And we'll come into a butterfly position. So feet together, knees wide. You might like to start just by pulsing. And just inviting in a little more space, a little more room, not trying to get anywhere. And you might like to take the feet a little further away. We'll bring them a little closer. And we'll let our little butterfly travel a little bit by just taking the sit bones away and bringing them forward. You might even like to come down onto the knees, down to the elbows. And when you're ready, let's bring the knees back up. Okay, we're going to go from this butterfly position into a lunge position. And the way we're going to do that is by rolling to one side and then just letting our body shift its weight so that we come up. And see if you can let this happen really organically. So we'll start just with a little bit of roll from side to side. And then use a bit of momentum, drop your hand, roll onto your knee. We're going to step the other foot forward and then drop the tailbone down, shift that leg back, roll onto the other knee. Go from side to side and see if you can make this movement feel as effortless as possible. No pressure on your wrists. Keep breathing. You might like to slow it down. I'm trying to imprint this movement so getting up from the ground becomes the simplest thing without any effort. Do one more. Come back to our seated butterfly. Let's cross the legs this time. We're going to roll over onto our knees, come up onto all fours. Let's step our right leg forward. You can mirror me if you like. And just bring the shoulders over the wrists. We're going to just juice up this hip joint a little bit. So you might like to walk the hands back. Feel that strong sensation down the back of the leg. Take the foot back down. Now we're going to open the knee a little wider. So really you can go any direction you like. Maybe you might like to take a bit of a figure 8, spiraling motion. You ready? Let's take that leg back. Maybe a little wag of the tail. And then we'll step the other foot out. Roll back. Strong sensation down the back of the leg. Roll forward. Maybe take the knee out wide. Spend as much time as you can just exploring the places where your body feels a little stuck. Maybe energy not flowing as it needs to. And when you're ready, let's step that leg back. And we're going to tuck the toes at the back, come into a knee, kneeling toe squat, just sinking into it, strong sensation in the toes. And then we're going to roll back into, you might take the feet a little wider, roll back into squat, Malasana. So my heels don't get to the ground, maybe yours do. Everyone has a little bit of different movement in their heel. Just deep into the hips. We're going to stay here for a moment. You might like to bring your hands together. Take a few breaths here. Ready? We're going to take our hands behind the body, drop one knee down, and then the other. So we're working now internal and external rotation of the joint. Really tuck your heels in so there's no pressure on the knees. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk the hands forward, come back into our Malasana. Maybe another breath or two. And then we'll bring the knees together, come back into our toe squat. And we're just going to move between these 2 points. See if you can get a little bit fluid. Walking the hands forward. Dropping the knees down. Taking the feet a little wider. Walking the hands behind. When you get to this point, just notice what little small adaptations you might need to do. And one last time. Let's come back. We're going to come onto all fours. Bring the knees together, feet together. Just create a little bit more space. Wag the tail side to side. You might like to turn and just gently look towards your toes. Feel that fluidity through the whole spine. And we'll come back to all fours. All right. Let's take our knee right up to the wrist this time. So pigeon shape. We're going to tuck the ankle in, the heel towards the sit bone, and then come down as low as your body wants to bring you. Extend that back leg a little further back, maybe. You can come all the way down onto the ground if you like. Strong sensation in the hips, that's okay. Your head's on the ground, you might slowly lift it up. Take your hands under the shoulders, a little bit of a back bend. And then we're going to drop down onto our sit bone, swing the back leg forward, turn the toes up. And we're going to reach the arm along that leg. Just let that shoulder be heavy, and our top shoulder is going to rotate back. You might like to even reach above. Big deep sigh, curl the toes in. When you're ready, let's windmill both hands behind and over. We're going to stack our shoulder over our wrist and lift up. And then tailbone comes down and we windmill back. Take a little bit of time to find the stacking of bones, opening of the side body. Come back down. This time we're going to twist, reaching the backhand across. You might find your ankle or your knee or maybe even your foot. Big sigh. And we'll come back. Roll that leg back. Let's come into all fours again. Be a little wag of the tail. All right, let's try the other side. So left knee to left wrist. Tuck that heel in. Right to the sit bone if you can. All right, extend the back leg further back. Maybe coming down all the way. And ready, lifting up into that back bend. And then we'll drop the sit bone, back leg turns forward, toes turn up. Roll that shoulder down towards the knee. Top shoulder rolls back, reach over. Let's windmill the arms. And lifting up. Keep going, just find your own rhythm. Your body knows where to go. Last one. This time you might like to twist, back arm comes across, find the ankle or the shin. And slowly coming back up. Let's open through to the hips. Things are starting to shift and move. Let's go onto our side body now. And we're going to stack our hips, our knees, our ankles. And just simple movement to start. You might like to just sigh out, opening the knees. Inhale, come back. Don't go so far that you tilt backwards. We want our spine to be flat. So use this supporting hand, a little bit of weight into it. Use your breath. You might like to start to lift the foot up as well. Keep the legs kind of parallel to each other as much as you can. We're not externally rotating now. And we're going to extend our bottom arm, roll over the top of that arm, bend that knee, and just extend the knee up towards the arm. You might like to rest on it, just opening through the hip. And we're going to take a figure four shape with the leg. Keeping our head on the ground, just roll it back. And just use the weight of the body, keep the head on the ground, opening. back, pulling the knee up, and big deep sigh. And let's roll back. We're gonna turn around, so you might like to just swivel on your tailbone, roll onto the side, stack your arms, your legs, your ankles, and just like we did on the other side, let's open through the hip. You might like to lift the foot up as well, keeping that connection between the legs. Ready? Extend that bottom arm, roll over it. Take the knee up as high as it wants to go towards the hand. Let your body open into it. And you're ready, we'll take that figure four shape and just open out. And then we're going to roll all the way onto our belly and extend the arms out into that kind of cactus shape. Keep the head low. We're going to take the figure four again. This time, hand comes under the shoulder. We're going to roll back a little deeper. Use your breath, sigh out. And we'll swap sides. Hand comes under the shoulder. Get a sense for your own range of movement. And we'll come back. Let's come into our kind of frog shape. So we're going to take our knees wide, drop the tailbone towards the heels, and then walk the hands away. Little commando down the ground. Make sure you've got support for your knees. You need to use a blanket or a cushion. Tailbone stays as heavy as you can make it. Feet close together at the back. One more time. Let's take both feet up. Knees are just gonna allow the feet to roll down. Hips stay heavy here. Use the weight of your legs. No effort, no trying. Let's keep our cactus arms. We're just going to, just from the hip joint, we're going to lift one leg, bring it back down, and then the other. Use your breath. So inhaling down, exhaling up. One more each side. Let's let our arms be heavy, just a little wobble. And then hands under the shoulders, slowly pressing up. And I'll come into a seated position. Let's take one hip externally rotated, one internally rotated. Everyone will look a little different in this shape, so find your own way that works for your body, for your knees. Let's take a breath in. As we start out, walk the hand to your opposite knee, take the other hand behind. New breath to come back to the center. Exhale to turn and twist. Use your breath. And then we'll lift the legs. Switch to the other side. Come up as tall as you can. New breath in. And walking the hands. Keep the spine as straight as you can. Each time you sigh out, you might find a little more space, maybe. And we'll switch again. This time, new breath. We're going to go down to elbows. Inhale to reset. Exhale. Let's explore behind the body. You even might like to twist and thread the arm underneath the body, maybe. And then we'll reset one more time, swapping the legs. New breath. And letting go. Coming back onto our spine. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Maybe a little rock and roll. One hand on each knee. Let's open out the side. We're going to find a happy baby. Hand towards the shins or the ankles, maybe even the feet, but ideally tailbone and head are still on the ground. Deep sigh. Just let the legs be heavy. You might like to finish by drawing the legs overhead and then using that momentum to come up to sit. Make sure you tuck your chin. Massaging the spine until we come up to meet in a seated position. Hopefully a little more space in the hips. Let's bring hands together. And as we always do, just taking a moment to thank ourselves for our choice to practice, and then send that gratitude to each other.